Hi, sir. Now I will present my FIP2 and the title is Creative Edutained Multimedia Application for Chinese Civilization User-Centered Learning Approach. And the problem statement is ineffective understanding about Chinese civilization with inappropriate method. Why this problem statement exists? Based of the author and his name is Muhammad Said was mentioned about multimedia aid learning should be implemented to give impact on students, especially who are at low level of academic achievement. This point was improved that multimedia aid learning was effective and appropriate method for education. And the second problem statement is the way to convey the information of Chinese civilization. This problem exists because one of the author and his name is Haddad was stated that entertainment using multimedia technology was cognitive approach had applied effective and perceptive skill compared to formal education. It based on experiential and participatory methodologies passed on to learners and help them reconnect awareness and caring in a concrete way. Thus, the downway of formal education was ineffective compared with edutainment that was education plus edutainment using multimedia to create interesting content. The information require more multimedia element and interactive with it to convey for create appropriate way that can be easy to solve. And the last problem statement is lack of content and insufficient to obtain information. According to Mr. Chiang, student ability to understand structure, meaning, and function of language was harmed by traditional teaching that makes students passive recipients of knowledge. So this point was unlike advanced multimedia technology. Traditional teaching method make the information insufficient to obtain because delivery of limited content. Next is a project objective. The first project objective is to study the usage of multimedia technology and skill for creating effective Chinese civilization edutainment. Multimedia technology and skill can perform the enhancement of education about Chinese civilization with the edutainment way. Chinese civilization edutainment could more effective because integrate the entertainment element, make the learning process enjoyable by learner, and convey the knowledge in the creative way will solve the problem statement 1. And the second project objective is to design and develop Chinese civilization edutainment multimedia application for convey the information effectively. The information could be delivered success through edutainment application that using the combination of multimedia elements. Interactive between user and the edutainment application make the information delivered with meaningful will solve the problem statement 2. And the second objective is to evaluate the effectiveness of Chinese civilization edutainment multimedia application in existing education environment. Learner could achieve the standard of depth learning and get more experience from the edutainment multimedia application. This can raise the learner interest and immersion want to learn more in existing education environment. The knowledge and value of Chinese civilization can transmit successful truth. This application can fix the problem statement 3. Next is project scope. There are 5 modules. The first module is storyline module, and the second is the interactive map module, and the third is the augmented reality modules, and the fourth is immersive history corridor module, and the last is the quiz module. This is the summary of review. I have reviewed 5 applications. The first application is the Vision US. The advantage have interactive storyline map. Second advantage is usability. User interface is simple look, and the color of user interface is deep. And this application have background music. The disadvantage of this application is does not have quiz or mini game, and does not have the timeline mode. And the critical comment for this application is should click the mini game or quiz to increase the entertainment, and need use bright color in the background. The second application is history for kids, Asian empires, China, Japan. The advantage of this application is have colorful interactive map, more type of quiz, and have background music, and have colorful timelines. The disadvantage for this application is the user interface of quiz not consistent, and slow response when click to the quiz. And the last is the quiz does not have the hints. The critical comment for this application is make the user interface consistent, and improve the quiz response for answering quiz, and added the hint. The second application is history quiz game. The advantage of this application is provide hint. The icon have sound when clicked, and the color is less, so the eyes of the user is comfortable to see, to view, and the user interface is not complicated. The disadvantage of this application is does not have the timeline, and lack of feature, and does not have background music. Last is lack of information too. The critical comment for this application is should click the timelines, adding BGM. The BGM is means background music, and should adding more information. And the next application is the history of everything. The advantage of this application is have an interactive timeline, and the colorful contents, and have the animations. The disadvantage for this app is does not have background music, and does not have the mini game or quiz. The critical comment is should adding background music, and create the mini game or quiz. The last application is the civilizations AR. So the advantage of this application is interactive, and have the audio sound, and have the provide the detailed information for the AR object. And the disadvantage for this application is does not have the background music, and the content also limited, and less effect like animation. The critical comment for this application is adding background music, and adding more content and the effects. Next is the user requirement gathering. This is the pie chart of the question 2. Do you feel that learning Chinese civilization is boring with traditional way like reading from textbook only or teaching by teacher? From the pie chart we can see have the biggest respondents. The green color is so that have 38%, which is the respondent select the red 3, and have 30% respondent have select red 4. So most of them is feel that learning Chinese civilization is boring with traditional way like reading from textbook only or teaching by teacher. Next is the question 11, that which feature you feel that can help to learning Chinese civilizations? The feature have interactive design, good sound effect, consistent of button and icon, colorful interface, and interface with 3 color only, and the last is consistency of interface design. The interactive design have 26%, which is the highest number of respondents feel they can help to the feature can help to learning Chinese civilization. And the second highest feature is have 24%. The feature is good sound effects. And the second highest is the feature consistency of interface design, which have 19%. Next feature is colorful interface, have 18%. And the feature consistency of button and icon has 10% of respondents. And the last is interface with 3 color only, have 3% of respondents. This is the methodology, and the methodology I use is the AT model. The AT model is have 5 stages. The first stage is the analysis. Next stage is the design, then develop and implements. Each of the tests will evaluate accordingly. This is the testing result. The question 2, what do you think about effectiveness to learn with answer the quiz? There are 5 ratings, and the highest is have 41 and 7%, which is 15 respondents is select the 5 rate. And the second highest is 38 and 9%, which is 14 respondents. And the last is the have 19.4%, which is 7 only respondent. Through the bar chart, we can see the highest like 41.7% of respondents think about the effectiveness to learn with answer the quiz is high effectiveness. Next, in the section A storyline module, the first question is, do you think the storyline module gives a good understanding of history to user? You can see the pie chart that is have 58.3% have agree. and the second highest is have 27.8% are strongly agree. The next question 4. What feature of Edutained multimedia application can teach user learning the knowledge of Chinese civilization effectively? There are 4 features. The first feature is the text that explains the information. It shows that have 52.8%, which is 19 respondents. And the second feature is the animation image that fulfill the criteria have 52.8%, which is also have 19 respondents. And the third feature is the display image that meaningful have 47.2%, which is have 17 respondents. And the last feature is the hover of button provide further information have 19 and 4%, which have 7 respondents. So most of the respondents is agree that the feature, the text that explain the informations, and the feature, the animation image that fulfill the criteria can teach user learning the knowledge of Chinese civilization effectively. This is the research finding. The first research finding is the result of question 2 in section F. So the respondent can learn effectively by added animation, image, sound, and colorful design with the multimedia technology, and will achieve the objective ones. And the second research finding is the result of question 1 in section A can show respondents receive the information effectively by playing the storyline module because using different multimedia elements. So this research finding will achieve the objective 2. And the last research finding is the result of question 4 in section F. So half of the respondents are agreed that the text explained in the information and the animation image fulfill the criteria. So this research finding can achieve the objective 3. So this is the reference of my FIP2. Thank you. Now I will play the demo of my multimedia courseware.
We need high taxation to fund the construction of fortifications along the Silk Road and garrisons against foreign infiltration and invasion.
Please spare us, our farmland already destroyed by the flood from the Yellow River.
Crusade the Yellow Turban Rebellion.
The azure sky is already dead, the yellow sky will soon rise. When the year is Jiazi, there will be prosperity under heaven.
End of the rebellion on February 188 AD after Zhang Zhao died cause of the disease. This Yellow Turban Rebellion become the start of war between warlords in the late Eastern Han Dynasty and plant a long-term cause for the separation of the three kingdoms.
Lu Bu, go kill Ding Yuan and Emperor Shao of Han, replace him with his younger brother Lu Shi to gain the military power.
Yes, General Dong Zhou.
A large coalition against Dong Zhou such as Yuan Shao, Yuan Shu, Cao Cao, and Shun Jian.
in an attempt to restore the power of the Han.
Exterminate Dongzhu because subversion of the royals Han.
Yes, agree.
Cao Cao, Yuan Shu, and Shang Jian as a leader, and we need to form a large coalition against Dongzhou.
Dong Zhuo was assassinated by Li Hu in the 192 AD. Wang Yan killed by Dong Zhuo's subordinates, Li Ju. Lu Bu ran away and finally killed by Cao Cao in year 198.
I order you bring 230,000 armies to defeat Sun Quan and Liu Bei at Chibi.
Yes, Prime Minister. I have two options, that is, we form alliances to against Cao Cao or surrender.
I decided to form alliances to against Cao Cao at Chibi.
My lord Sun Quan want to form alliances with Liu Bei and Zhou Yu as commander.
I will pretend to surrender and try to use fire attack when have chance.
Huang Gai successfully to use fire attack on Cao Cao's battleships because the southeast wind was violent and the fire was fierce. All of Cao Cao army's warship were burned out, and the fire spread to camp on the land. Cao Cao defeated and lead armies to retreat.
Hanfu, as the traditional clothing of China, appeared as early as 5,000 years ago in the Waxia period. And until the Han Dynasty, uniform dress standards were established, and Hanfu clothing officially became the basic style clothing for the ancient Chinese people. The Han Dynasty clothing developed rapidly in this period and had a great influence on the history of Chinese dress because silk industry got great development, and with the influence of large-scale expansion of ancient China's foreign trade, silk trade and export reached unprecedented prosperity. Hanfu, now in English also simply as silk robe or Chinese silk robe.
The Chinese repeating crossbow, literally, juga crossbow, also known as continuous crossbow, is a device with simple design. The bowstring consisted of animal sinew twisted into a cord of suitable strength. The invention is commonly attributed to the strategist Zhuge Liang from 181 to 234 AD of the Three Kingdoms period, but those found in tomb 4th 7 at Qinjiazui, Hubei province have been dated 4th century BC. Zhuge Liang improved the design of repeating crossbow, and made a version which shot 2 to 3 arrows at once and was used in massed formation.
Go back and try again.